What is going on, Eagles Nation? Stephen Hellmann here alongside Aresco for the weekly Chirp, and what an eventful couple days it has been since our last Bird Buzz video. A lot has gone down.
If you remember, we released the video on the morning.
Yeah, Christmas morning, we called it.
It
was. So I guess let's just start
with the first
from
thing
that day.
happened.
The first thing that happened was Torrey Smith. And I was saying, I don't know if I was saying on the show, but I was tweeting about it a week or two prior that I was basically saying if we didn't get Cooks, I'd be totally cool with Torrey Smith.
That's a good call.
And that's what they did. And I guess Howie felt the same way.
Yeah. Joe Douglas is familiar with him. A couple guys in the organization are familiar with him. The bottom line, they were looking for a guy that was affordable, that was a winner, that played for a winner before. Now, most recently, he played for the San Francisco 49ers. Not a good team. But the Baltimore Ravens, he won a Super Bowl there.
Yeah.
He has heart. He has passion.
Yeah,
and he's a proven professional deep threat in the NFL. Mm-hmm. If you don't respect that, he can go deep and burn you for a touchdown. Yeah. In my opinion, he's somewhat of like a poor man's Jeremy Maclin. Mm-hmm. He's not as complete a receiver. He probably doesn't have as good hands. But he's got that speed that can stretch in. It's not Deshaun Jackson speed, but it's respectable enough to where for another year or two, he can give you something that this team hasn't had. And Aguilar is not a consistent deep threat, but now Aguilar gets to learn behind a veteran like Torrey Smith, and that's something we stressed for a long time on this show, a long time on Twitter, and that's something Howie Roseman stressed in the press conference when he talked about acquiring these veteran receivers.
Yeah,
now,
we haven't had a veteran presence.
I say receivers because and he's right, we have not had a veteran presence, and it's glaring that our young guys learn from some receivers, some veteran receivers. Now, we both talked about getting two guys, and when they signed Torrey Smith, you had to know something else was around the corner. Did you know? This is the man.
I'm the man.
This is the man that called it forever on this show. If you watch back, I mean, he slowed it down as free agency neared, quiet, calm before the storm, but he said he had a dream. And he guaranteed that we were going to get Alshon Jeffery in free agency. Yeah. And after the Torrey Smith signing, it picked up steam until 4 p.m. Eastern Time when what happened?
We got him. And, guys, it's magical. It's the best receiver out there. It's the best receiver that's hit the free agent market in years. Probably since T.O.
Since T.O. That's the moment we can compare.
There was never a time that the Eagles ever needed a receiver this badly in recent years, and we got him. And it was just the perfect situation. He wanted to go to a winner. He liked Carson Wentz, Mike Rowe, the receivers coach. Everything just lined up. And if you think this one-year deal, we're not going to be able to keep him. If this guy goes off, we're keeping him.
Mm-hmm. He's going to get Jason Peters' money plus whoever, Vinny Curry's money. It doesn't matter. Howie Roseman, we didn't have cap
did the 1 year. He didn't have the cap, so he did what he could to lock him up. The guy can make $14 million, but it's actually only a $9.5 million contract with incentives.
What a steal!
And if this guy goes off, we're going to keep him. And if for some reason he gets, God forbid, suspension, things happen, stuff like that, I don't think any of that's going to happen. But if it did, then he's ruining his career. But I don't think that's going to happen. And the way Howie worked the cap magic with him, and then going back to the Torrey Smith contract, it's only $500,000 guaranteed.
Yep, $5 million a year.
For $5 million a year. So he's pretty much, he's under team control for 3 years.
Yeah, he's under complete control of the team. And look, going back to Alshon here. I mean, this guy's a stud. In no way is he actually Terrell Owens, but I'll tell you what he is. He is the biggest, and this is what matters to me, is that he's the biggest margin of upgrade in the NFL.
Yeah.
No one had as bad a receivers as the Eagles, other than like maybe two teams, and that was the Bears without Alshon, and probably the 49ers, but they had Jeremy Curley, who I would say would probably be just as good as our best receiver. Yeah. So they weren't so much any worse than the Eagles were. Look, let's face it, the Eagles were a bottom 3 receiver team in the NFL. Their group was bad. And getting Alshon Jeffery is a bigger upgrade than any team across the league made. Yeah. And that speaks volumes about how important they believed it was to get Carson Wentz, a talent like Alshon Jeffery. Yeah. And it also speaks volumes, the fact that he had multi-year deals out there. And he chose to come to the Eagles, who aren't, and you said he wanted to come to a winner. Now, the Eagles aren't a winner, but with a guy like Alshon, they could be. And that foresight for him it speaks volumes about what he thinks about this team, the organization, and Carson Wentz and where they're headed. Because guys want to just be on a winner rather than look at themselves the piece that maybe makes a team a winner. And that's what he did.
Yeah.
And he's a blue-collar guy, like we said. I remember us saying that on the show. That Chicago's, or maybe we were just talking, but Chicago's a blue-collar town, and Philly. And it made a lot of sense. And if you read that Players Tribune article, you already hear, how excited he is about playing for passionate fans. And it's not one of those signings where he comes in and he's talking about the money or the contract. I mean, look at the contract he signed. That's telling about him. It's all about the passion for the game of football with this guy. Yeah. And they were already at Del Frisco's together. Carson Wentz, Alshon Jeffery, Torrey Smith. We finally have that franchise face that's going to get these guys together, that knows he's here for a while, and he's going to be boys with these guys. And it's so much fun to have some veterans, and especially a talent like Alshon Jeffery, who's a Pro Bowl player in this league, given the right situation. And the Bears weren't that. The Eagles are.
And I think that, you know what, and they're really going to compete this year with this guy. And I think the national media really gives, the Eagles a bad rap on how finishing 7-9 last year, considering how bad. I don't think it can be overstated how bad these receivers were last year. Words they used to describe them is impossibly bad.
And I mean, it's not like they had some run game to lean on, right?
No,
this was a team that pretty much relied on its rookie quarterback, named the starter 8 days before the season, to lead this team and carry the team every week, and it caught up to them. Yeah. And then the defense started slipping, and you didn't have that anymore because the cornerback situation was so bad. Now maybe it'll be the same this year. We'll see. But it's not going to be dead weight. It'll be guys with potential. That's the upside. However, you go back to last year, and you're thinking, how is this team a 7-win team? How is this team a 7-win team with these receivers who can't get open, they can't catch passes in traffic, they can't catch open passes, they have minimal impact? I mean, Carson Wentz made some serious plays last year to help us win games, and I think the defense and the special teams, and you just see, you see the camaraderie and the coaching and the willingness to learn and develop together, and I think that's what you're going to see. And while these new talented pieces come in, you're going to see a huge upgrade.
I'd say in the past, like 2 or 3 seasons, excluding Dak Prescott, I think Carson Wentz had one of the best rookie campaigns in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
for sure. Besides Dak, and Dak sent this new standard that great for Dak. But, it just made it an impossible standard for everyone else to live.
If Dak Prescott, look, credit to Dak Prescott. He had a great year. But again, like you're saying, if Dak Prescott didn't have that season, if he didn't start, if it was Roma or maybe, someone else or whatever the case was, Carson Wentz would be the guy everyone's talking about. And now that he has Alshon Jeffery, it would be a lunatic fest out there. But since Dak Prescott had the year he had, he's the one to be respected and talked about, and Wentz, is still the doubted one. It's still got the guy with a lot to prove. And that would stand either way. Carson Wentz has a lot to prove. So does Dak Prescott. All these guys, they're young quarterbacks. But quarterbacks are playing, Tom Brady and Drew Brees are 39 and 40, and they're still playing,
Yeah.
So it's not far-fetched to think that Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz, with what they've shown, they could play well into their 30s. You know what I mean? And it's just year 2 for them. So give them a rest. They're getting their weapons. Dak has his. Carson's going to get his. It's going to be a great battle for years to come. And Alshon Jeffery, he's no slouch, as one T.O. had once put it. No slouch.
Yeah.
And Jeffery is not, and he's a great player. So it's great to get him. But then you move on to the real low key acquisition, and that's one this guy really liked. This Chance Warmack, and that came right as Jeffery came. And it was overlooked.
Drafted 10th overall by the Tennessee Titans in 2013. They probably reached for him, but nonetheless. Very talented guard.
Teams back up with his old offensive line coach, Jeff Stoutland, from Alabama, and that's a huge thing. I mean,
and he had multi-year offers too, and he took the deal to try and get his career back on track.
He's a young guard. He's 25 years old. So I mean, look, he took a career move because he knows, I could get a contract and go and get paid a little bit, or I could go to Philly where they have this much to sign me, but I'm going to get to work with a guy who had me playing at a high level, my best football, and that speaks to volumes about where Chance Warmack is in his career and where his mind is at. And in my opinion, I always take a guy betting on his career. Period. I always take that guy over another guy. So I'll look for those guys. Chance Warmack is desperate right now, and he's going to give his all to win a roster spot. And it's no lock, 1-year deal, $150K guaranteed, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if that's accurate, but I know it's not much guaranteed money. It's I think 1.5 total.
Yeah.
Contract and look, the bottom line is this guy, he wants to make this team, and he has one chance, and that's this summer. At training camp, and if he makes this team, he could be in line to maybe get a starting role. You never know. I mean, but that's your project at guard right there.
Yeah.
Now you don't need one in the draft, and that's why I think you don't need one. You could take one, you could use one, sure, but you probably don't need a guard now, and that's very good. That frees up, getting that young guard prospect to work with. That frees up a draft need, and I love it.
And then also them signing, re-signing Stefan Wisniewski. So
to a 3-year contract.
You have a guy that can play guard and center for you. So he's kind of there's a flash in the kitchen. I don't know what that was. So anyway, but yeah, you have this guy that I'm shook from that. But anyway, you have this guy that can come in and play guard and center, and he can
Yeah, I mean Jason Kelce. Let's face it, he's on his way out. If not this year, they can hold on to him. The draft day trade, a lot of people are talking about training camp when guys get hurt. Jason Kelce might be of service to some team. However, I think that. Regardless, you have guys that can now hold that. You have Warmack, you have Barber, who's a guard. They're trying to move on from him. But you have Warmack, you have Wisniewski, and you have Isaac Sayamalo. And those are 3 fairly young guys. Wisniewski's 28, but centers play till they're 33. So he's not great, but in his prime, he's a solid rotational guy. A good 3-year deal. And he's a good guy that can get in there at either position and play well.
He can start for you, or he's really great depth.
Yeah,
that's what he gives you.
And Sayamalo is your young guy who you think is going to be the center of the future.
I do think. And I would imagine they're going to move on from Kelce. I just don't know if they're going to carry all that money on the roster for interior offensive line where they have Chance. They got that's not a lot of money. They got Wiz, but the Wiz is a 3-year deal. That guy's either your number 1 backup or he's starting because there's no way you're gonna give him that much. Not that it's a bad contract; it's a good contract, but you gotta get that guy.
3 years, it's 3 years. Yeah, he's either gonna be your primary backup or he's gonna be counted on to come in and start, and he's gonna get a chance to win a job. And there's a reason he took that 3-year deal because he knows that he didn't take the 3-year deal thinking, I'm never gonna get a chance. He's gonna get his chance, and he played really well last year, and they thought of him that highly. So, moving on from that, now you have Zach Ertz. And Chase Daniel and Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz restructured his contract to give us some cap room for this year. So it gives the Eagles cap room for this year. And then Chase Daniel was released.
Yeah, he was released. And Nicky Foles.
And then we signed Nick Foles. The Eagles signed franchise Foles.
Nick and
Foles.
I'm telling you.
Back up.
And what they're going to do with this Chase Daniel contract, and I believe this is correct, is they have... So it's going to be $5 million against the cap, but they structured it so what happens is if Chase Daniel signs with the team, that money, the amount of money he gets, that comes off of us and onto them. So for example, say he signed with the Jets, 2 years, $4 million. $4 million, $8 million, 2 years, $8 million, so $4 million a year. $4 million would come off our cap, go, and the Jets would just pay it.
Okay.
Because that's what they would pay for him anyway.
Right.
That's what they got him for, and that would come off our cap.
Right.
And that's how the structure works. So Chase Daniel still gets paid.
Yeah.
So, from his sense, he signed a contract, he's entitled to some of the money, but they restructured it so he gets what he wants in a sense, compromise.
Yeah. So it's good. Hopefully a team signs him and that happens.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's kind of what it is. So.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll get signed by someone, but I don't think he's a starter because he's pretty bad.
Yeah, he's not that good. I honestly, what you said earlier really is true. I'd rather have Nick Foles coming in if Wentz gets hurt than Chase Daniel.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Nick Foles,
and the fans actually kind of are receptive to him.
Yeah, no.
We'll cheer for him if he has to get there. Hopefully he doesn't. I want
Yeah.
Carson Wentz to start every single snap. He's our quarterback, our franchise quarterback. But if Nick Foles has to get in there, I'd rather have him than Chase Daniel for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like it. They gave him a nice 2-year
I
deal.
think when Daniel comes in there, you can't really run the offense. When Foles gets in there, you can still
Daniel
run
knows
the
the offense like the back of his hand, and he's the worst quarterback probably in any offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how well he knows the offense. He's just not capable of running an NFL
offense.
He's just not good enough. Sorry, Chase. You're better than me and stuff like that, but you're a great knowledgeable guy that can come in and give you a couple snaps, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
But as a starter, probably not.
Yeah.
But good for him for giving it a shot. You know, he wants to chase this thing down, and he really genuinely thought he had a chance to, maybe beat Sam Bradford out or get the job when Bradford went down.
Well, he wasn't beating Sammy B.
That wasn't happening. So so I mean that's kind of all that happened.
Yeah.
Trey Burton got a new number, and Nelson Aguilar and Jeffery took 17. Aguilar got 13. Burton got 88. Changed his number to like a real tight ends number.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll make me think of him like a little less like a fullback.
Yeah.
He always feels he's a fullback.
Yeah.
But man, hey, this episode.
What a time.
Mine's got weapons. That's kind of what this episode is, and we're just excited. Alshon Jeffery, I think he's gonna have a great year, and same with Torrey Smith. I really like the pickups there to complement each other and in a cap favorable situation. All the other signings are great, and they help us out. Right as of right now, the Eagles still need cornerback help. They still need a running back. But I mean,
I got all the faith in the world in Howie.
He's
getting it done. So all right, guys, we'll see you around. We'll see you for Bird Buzz later in the week.
Draft's next.
That's next on the docket.
Yep.
All right, guys, see you around.